Kyle Bass, a well-known hedge fund manager and founder of Hayman Capital Management, is reportedly under consideration for a senior position in either the U.S. Treasury or the Department of Defense. His candidacy is significant due to his outspoken criticisms of China and his financial expertise, which could shape U.S. economic and security policies, particularly in relation to China and broader geopolitical issues. Background on Kyle Bass. Kyle Bass rose to prominence by accurately predicting the subprime mortgage crisis in 2008, which established his reputation as a savvy investor with a keen understanding of macroeconomic trends. His investment strategies often revolve around identifying economic vulnerabilities, and he has been particularly critical of China's economic model, government practices, and financial transparency. Bass's views have labeled him as a China hawk, advocating for a more confrontational U.S. stance towards China's economic practices and perceived threats. Current consideration for a senior role. Recent reports from multiple credible sources, including Bloomberg and Yahoo Finance, indicate that Bass's name has emerged in discussions among officials in the Trump administration regarding key appointments in the Treasury or Defense departments. His deep understanding of global financial markets and macroeconomic indicators positions him as a strong candidate who could influence U.S. policy towards China, especially amid rising geopolitical tensions. Implications of his potential appointment. 1. Shift in U.S. policy. There is a strong consensus that Bass's appointment could lead to a significant shift in U.S. policies concerning trade, national security, and economic relations with China. His critical views on China's practices may drive the U.S. to adopt a more aggressive posture in negotiations and strategic planning. 2. Financial expertise. Bass's background in hedge funds and macroeconomic analysis is seen as a valuable asset, especially in a climate where financial oversight is crucial for national security. His ability to analyze economic data and market trends could enhance the U.S. government's capacity to respond to economic challenges posed by China. 3. National security concerns. Given the current geopolitical landscape, Bass's focus on economic policies intertwined with national security could lead to comprehensive strategies that address both economic and military dimensions of U.S.-China relations. Broader context of U.S.-China relations. The discussions surrounding Bass's potential appointment come at a time when U.S.-China relations are increasingly strained. Issues such as trade imbalances, intellectual property theft, and military maneuvers in the South China Sea have heightened tensions. His entry into a senior government role could catalyze a more unified and strategic approach to countering China's growing influence on the global stage. Differences among sources. While Bloomberg and Yahoo Finance provide similar insights regarding Bass's candidacy and critical views, Investing.com offers a more nuanced discussion on the broader implications of his potential appointment. This includes an emphasis on the importance of financial oversight and national security and the potential for immediate policy shifts regarding tariffs, trade agreements, and military strategies. Timeline of events. Historical predictions. Bass's reputation as a market predictor was solidified by his foresight regarding the subprime mortgage crisis, which has since influenced his investment philosophy. Intensifying discussions. Recent reports suggest that discussions about his potential role have gained momentum, particularly in light of the need for more robust economic policies to confront challenges from China. Future policy directions. Should Bass be appointed, immediate implications could include revised tariffs, changes in trade negotiations, and adjustments in military strategies, all aimed at countering China's influence. Conclusion. Kyle Bass's potential nomination for a senior role in either the U.S. Treasury or the Department of Defense underscores a strategic shift in U.S. economic and defense policies, particularly concerning China. His financial expertise, coupled with a critical stance towards China, positions him as a key player who could help shape future U.S. strategies in an increasingly complex global environment. The discussions surrounding his candidacy reflect the urgency of addressing the multifaceted challenges posed by China's economic and military ambitions. Kyle Bass, a hedge fund manager recognized for his critical stance on China. is reportedly under consideration for a senior role in the U.S. Treasury or Department of Defense. His potential appointment could have profound implications for U.S. economic and security policies, particularly concerning China. Kyle Bass's background: Bass founded Hayman Capital Management and gained attention for accurately predicting the subprime mortgage crisis. His investment strategies reflect a macroeconomic focus and a strong skepticism of China's economic policies, including concerns about its debt levels, currency practices, and governance transparency. This skepticism positions him firmly as a China hawk, advocating for a more confrontational U.S. posture regarding China's economic strategies and perceived security threats. Consideration for senior role: sources including Bloomberg and Yahoo Finance indicate that discussions among Trump administration officials about appointing Bass have intensified. His financial expertise and understanding of global markets make him a viable candidate to influence U.S. policy towards China amidst escalating geopolitical tensions. Key points: 1. China hawk stance. Bass's critical perspective on China is consistently highlighted across sources, emphasizing the need for the U.S. to adopt a more aggressive approach in economic and security matters. 2. Policy impact. There is a strong consensus that Bass's appointment could significantly alter U.S. trade and security policies, particularly in relation to China. 3. Financial expertise. His hedge fund experience and macroeconomic analysis skills are frequently cited as critical assets for the roles under consideration. Differences in source perspectives. While Bloomberg and Yahoo Finance provide similar insights regarding Bass's candidacy, Investing.com delves deeper into the broader implications for U.S.-China relations, stressing the significance of financial oversight in national security. Timeline of events. Bass's historical predictions regarding financial crises have bolstered his reputation as a financial expert. Recent discussions about his potential role have gained momentum, driven by the urgent need for robust economic strategies to counter challenges posed by China. If appointed, Bass could instigate immediate policy changes concerning tariffs, trade agreements, and military strategies focusing on countering China's expanding global influence. In summary, the potential nomination of Kyle Bass for a senior government position underscores a strategic shift in U.S. economic and defense policies regarding China. His financial expertise and critical viewpoint on China position him as a potentially significant player in shaping future U.S. strategies in a complex geopolitical environment. Kyle Bass's potential appointment to a senior role in the U.S. Treasury or Department of Defense is a significant development that warrants deeper examination beyond the surface-level implications often discussed in media reports. While many commentators focus on his China hawk stance and financial expertise, several critical aspects of this situation could easily be overlooked. Yet they hold substantial significance for U.S. economic and security policies. 1. Historical context of Bass's predictions. One of the most frequently cited points about Kyle Bass is his success in predicting the subprime mortgage crisis. This prediction not only established his reputation as a savvy investor but also reflects a broader theme in his career: a willingness to challenge prevailing narratives and make bold forecasts based on macroeconomic analysis. The significance here lies in understanding how his historical context informs his current views on China. Why it matters: Bass's predictions are often rooted in a deep analysis of financial metrics, government policies, and macroeconomic trends. His skepticism about China's economic stability may be informed by similar analytical frameworks he used when assessing the U.S. housing market. This historical lens prompts a more nuanced understanding of his potential policies, not merely as a reactionary China hawk, but as someone who may apply rigorous financial scrutiny to U.S.-China relations. 2. Policy implications beyond confrontation. While many articles emphasize Bass's confrontational stance towards China, they often overlook the potential nuances in policy formulation that his financial background could bring. Bass is not just advocating for a trade war or military posturing. he may advocate for innovative economic strategies that could include sanctions, tariffs, or financial instruments aimed at curbing China's influence. Why it matters: understanding that Base's approach may include a variety of strategies allows for a more sophisticated discussion on how the U.S. can effectively engage with China. This could mean fostering alliances with other nations that share similar concerns, leveraging financial markets to apply pressure, or even advocating for regulatory changes that impact Chinese companies operating in the U.S. 3. The broader geopolitical landscape. Base's candidacy comes at a time when the geopolitical landscape is increasingly complex. The rise of China as a global superpower, coupled with its assertive actions in the South China Sea and its economic strategies like the Belt and Road Initiative, necessitates a multifaceted approach from the U.S. His background gives him insights into not only economic implications but also the strategic elements of national security. Why it matters: an appointment of someone like Base could signal a shift in how the U.S. perceives its global role, potentially leading to a more cohesive strategy that integrates economic, military, and diplomatic efforts. This could influence how the U.S. engages with not only China but also with allies and adversaries alike, reshaping the global balance of power. 4. The role of financial oversight in national security. One aspect that often escapes attention is the intersection of financial oversight and national security. Base's background in hedge funds could lend itself to advocating for more stringent regulations on foreign investments, particularly from China, in critical sectors such as technology and infrastructure. Why it matters: the ability to identify and mitigate financial risks posed by foreign investments is essential for national security. By leveraging his expertise, Base could push for policies that enhance scrutiny of Chinese investments, thereby protecting U.S. interests in technology from potential espionage or economic coercion. 5. Impact on domestic economic policies. Base's potential role could also extend to domestic economic policies that may not be directly linked to China but are influenced by the broader economic climate. His views on economic stability, inflation, and fiscal responsibility could inform policies that have far-reaching effects on the U.S. economy. Why it matters: if appointed, Base could advocate for policies that address domestic economic challenges while simultaneously preparing the U.S. economy for the potential repercussions of its relationship with China. This dual focus could lead to a more resilient economic framework in the face of global uncertainties. 6. Public perception and political ramifications. Base's outspoken views on China and financial markets have made him a polarizing figure. His appointment could evoke strong reactions from various political factions, influencing the narrative around U.S.-China relations. Understanding how public perception of Base could impact policy implementation is crucial. Why it matters: the political ramifications of his appointment could lead to challenges in garnering bipartisan support for the policies he may advocate. It's essential to consider not just the policies themselves but the political landscape they will navigate, including potential pushback from those who may see his views as overly aggressive or detrimental to U.S.-China relations. 7. The role of technology in economic strategy. Base's financial acumen may also lend itself to a focus on technology as a central pillar of U.S. economic strategy regarding China. His understanding of market dynamics could lead to advocacy for increased investment in technology sectors that are critical for maintaining U.S. competitiveness. Why it matters: in a rapidly evolving technological landscape where cyber capabilities are paramount, Base's insights could drive policies that prioritize innovation and resilience in critical tech sectors. This could be vital for ensuring that the U.S. retains its competitive edge, particularly in areas like artificial intelligence and cybersecurity. Conclusion: Base's potential appointment to a senior role in the U.S. Treasury or Department of Defense is not merely about his views on China. It encompasses a broader range of implications that could reshape U.S. economic and security policies. By understanding the historical context of his predictions, the multifaceted nature of his potential policies, and the broader geopolitical landscape, one can appreciate the significance of his candidacy beyond the immediate focus on confrontation with China. The nuances of his financial expertise could play a crucial role in formulating a comprehensive strategy that addresses both domestic and international challenges, ultimately impacting the future trajectory of U.S. economic and security policies. 1. Kyle Bass's China hawk stance. Bass's critical perspective on China is a central theme across all sources. His views encompass concerns about China's economic practices, government transparency, and rising debt levels. This stance positions him as a proponent of a more aggressive U.S. policy towards China, focusing on trade practices and national security threats. Understanding his approach provides insight into how he may influence U.S.-China relations if appointed to a senior role. 2. Potential impact on U.S. policy. The consensus among sources indicates that Bass's appointment could lead to significant shifts in U.S. economic and security policies. His financial background and macroeconomic expertise suggest that he would advocate for strategies that prioritize U.S. interests in trade negotiations, tariffs, and military strategies. Analyzing these potential policy changes could reveal the broader implications for U.S. economic stability and security in relation to China. 3. Financial expertise and market predictions. Bass is recognized for his financial acumen, particularly in macroeconomic analysis and market predictions, such as his accurate forecast of the subprime mortgage crisis. This expertise is seen as an asset for either the Treasury or defense roles he is being considered for. Exploring how his investment strategies and market insights could translate into effective economic policies will be critical for understanding the potential effectiveness of his role in government. For a geopolitical context and future implications, the broader context of U.S.-China relations is a pivotal element of the discussion surrounding Bass's candidacy. His potential appointment occurs amid rising tensions and the need for a coordinated U.S. response to China's global influence. Analyzing the implications of his appointment will require a consideration of the geopolitical landscape, including trade wars, military posturing, and international alliances, which could shape not only U.S. policy but also global economic dynamics. These 4 points provide a framework for a detailed analysis of Kyle Bass's potential influence on U.S. economic and security policies, particularly concerning China. Each point highlights different aspects of his candidacy and the broader implications for U.S.-China relations. 1. Henry Paulson and the 2008 financial crisis. Henry Paulson served as the U.S. Secretary of the Treasury from 2006 to 2009, and he played a crucial role during the 2008 financial crisis. As the former CEO of Goldman Sachs, Paulson had extensive experience in finance and was known for his decisive actions, including the bailout of major banks and the implementation of the Troubled Asset Relief Program (TARP). His policies were aimed at stabilizing the economy and preventing a complete financial collapse, much like how Kyle Bass's potential policies could be aimed at addressing economic threats from China. 2. Robert Gates and U.S.-China relations. Robert Gates was the U.S. Secretary of Defense from 2006 to 2011, and he emphasized the importance of a strong U.S.-China relationship while also acknowledging the need for vigilance against China's military modernization. Gates's approach involved balancing engagement with deterrence, similar to how Kyle Bass's potential role might require navigating economic strategies while addressing security concerns regarding China's influence. 3. John Bolton and national security policy. John Bolton, who served as National Security Advisor under President Trump, was known for his hawkish stance on foreign policy, particularly regarding Iran and North Korea. Bolton often advocated for a more aggressive U.S. posture on international issues, reflecting a mindset that resonates with Kyle Bass's critical views on China. Bolton's influence on national security policies exemplifies how a strong personal ideology can shape governmental strategies, similar to the potential impact Bass could have in a senior role. Kyle Bass, a hedge fund expert and vocal critic of China, is being considered for a senior role in either the U.S. Treasury or the Department of Defense. His potential appointment could have far-reaching implications for U.S. economic and security policies, particularly in relation to China. Future outlook. 1. Increased confrontation with China. If appointed, Bass is likely to advocate for a more aggressive U.S. stance towards China, emphasizing trade restrictions, tariffs, and potential sanctions in response to what he perceives as unfair economic practices. This could lead to heightened tensions in U.S.-China relations, impacting global trade dynamics. 2. Economic policy shifts. Bass's financial acumen could drive changes in fiscal policy, especially concerning economic measures aimed at countering China's influence. His skepticism about China's economic sustainability may result in policies encouraging domestic manufacturing and reducing reliance on Chinese imports. 3. National security focus. Bass's appointment could lead to a prioritization of national security issues related to China, including cybersecurity threats, military modernization, and technological competition. Expect a push for increased defense spending and a re-evaluation of U.S. military presence in the Asia-Pacific region. For market reactions, the financial markets may react to Bass's potential appointment with volatility, particularly in sectors exposed to China. Investors might reassess their strategies based on anticipated shifts in trade policies and geopolitical risks, leading to fluctuations in stock prices and currency valuations. 5. Influence on allies. Bass's tough stance on China could encourage U.S. allies to adopt similar positions, fostering a united front against perceived Chinese aggression. This could lead to stronger alliances among Western nations and increased cooperation on economic and security matters. 6. Impact on technology and innovation. With Bass's background in finance and macroeconomic analysis, a focus on maintaining U.S. technological superiority could emerge. Policies may be implemented to bolster research and development in critical areas such as artificial intelligence, semiconductor manufacturing, and telecommunications, aimed at countering China's advancements. 7. Long-term geopolitical shifts. If Bass's strategies lead to a prolonged economic decoupling from China, the long-term geopolitical landscape could change significantly. This could result in the formation of new trade blocs, as countries realign their economic interests away from China and towards the U.S. and its allies. 8. Domestic economic implications. The potential for increased tariffs and trade barriers could lead to domestic inflationary pressures. Consumers may face higher prices for goods that are currently imported from China, prompting discussions around the need for economic resilience and self-sufficiency. 9. Public discourse and policy advocacy. Bass's appointment could catalyze public discourse around U.S.-China relations, highlighting issues such as human rights, intellectual property theft, and global governance. His role may involve advocating for policies that reflect these concerns, influencing both domestic and international public opinion. 10. Potential backlash. A more aggressive approach towards China may also invite backlash not only from China but also from U.S. businesses reliant on Chinese trade. This could lead to a complex balancing act between security interests and economic realities. In summary, Kyle Bass's potential appointment to a senior government role could significantly reshape U.S. economic and security policies towards China. His China hawk stance, combined with financial expertise, suggests a future characterized by increased confrontation, policy shifts, and a re-evaluation of U.S. global strategy. As the geopolitical landscape evolves, the implications of these changes will resonate across various sectors and influence international relations for years to come.